plants have always been my best friend. I really do. You get out in the field and you love plants. But, best friends can turn on you. And I had an experience with that. I love cacti. And so I have a few of them growing at my house, including a quite large Cirrus peruviana, a very large cactus from South America. We have those great Santa Ana winds in Southern California blew one of the branches off of the Cirrus, and so I had to remove it, unfortunately. So I basically broke up the stem into smaller pieces that I could actually, with gloves on, be able to kind of gingerly pick up and drop into the trash can. Unfortunately, there were a lot of pieces. It's a very large branch, and it totally filled the trash can. So I was hauling them slowly away and got to a place where I had to tilt the trash can just slightly. And one of the larger stems rolled over onto my hand. Fortunately, I was wearing leather gloves, but it went straight through the gloves as if I were not wearing them at all. So I had to chant a little bit and then get up and run to the garage and find a pair of pliers to pull out the inch-long spines that had basically embedded themselves across my arm. I had all this, I looked like I had like a rash, but it wasn't just a rash. It was the spines. There were a few spines that didn't come out for several days, which is what we always hate when they go into the joint and stay.
All right, so my story, my painful story, was when I was a master's student at New Mexico State University conducting a flora of the Cook's Range, which is a range in southwestern New Mexico. And on a mid-July afternoon in 1986, I was on the summit of the highest peak of this range called Cook's Peak. And it was quite a scramble to get up there. And sure enough, by the time I did get up there, the clouds were gathering and threatening rain. It was monsoon season. So I was hurriedly running around the top of this granite peak, which didn't have much soil development, and trying to collect as much as I could in this short window of time because of the lightning flashes were getting closer and closer, and the thunder following those flashes was getting closer and closer. And without really paying much of attention, I reached down to grab this plant, and I firmly grabbed the base of it, and instantly my hand was on fire because it was Urtica gracilenta, Urtica being one of the stinging nettles. And these were really big spines down at the base. This base is like half an inch across, woody. And so it was quite a shock. I did collect the plant, but I will never, ever forget that moment as I hustled downhill to avoid the lightning.
One of the worst things that ever happened to me involving plant pain also involved a flip-flop. Huh? That may seem pretty strange, but here's the problem. If you get a spine into your flip-flop, you don't notice it until you step down, right? And then the spine juts up, pokes you right in the bottom of the foot. You yell, "Ow!" And then you take off the flip-flop and you look at it and you don't see any spine. And you think, oh, that must have been something that was on the top, or it's all better now. And so you put the flip-flop back on, and then you step on it again. And again you go, ow! Only worse this time because it just poked you in exactly the same place, which was already sore. And eventually you figure out that what you have to do is get binder clips or something, squish down your flip-flop so that you can get a purchase on the spine that's stuck in there and that was popping up to stab you in the bottom of the foot every time you step down on the flip-flop. Your friend, the flip-flop, becomes your enemy when it gets involved with a nasty sharp spine of a spiny plant.
I really don't have that many personal stories of thorns or spines or prickles in my body because I do tend to be very careful in the field. But when I was a baby botanist just starting out, I was hiking in the desert with Mark Porter and Sarah DeGrout, who are cactus lovers here at the garden. And there's the cactus known as the teddy bear cholla, also known as the jumping cholla, which has a great name because it really does jump out at you. And the next thing I knew, I had a whole cactus segment stuck to my leg. Just stuck there. It was very traumatic because I didn't know what to do, but Mark immediately knew what to do, and he took a hori hori, which is a garden knife, and he came at me with the hori hori. It looked even more menacing than the cactus, and just like very quickly like sliced it off my leg. And that was that. And I had spines sticking out of my leg, and I was able to take them out. But I learned from then very quickly to stay several feet away from the cacti because they do jump out at you on occasion.